The Ottoman Empire, which once ruled vast territories spanning 3 continents, continued its efforts to expand well into the 17th century. Despite internal and external challenges, the empire sought to maintain its influence in the Middle East, North Africa, and the Mediterranean. For centuries, the Ottomans had been known for their organized military, strong navy, and effective administrative system. However, by the late 1600s, their expansionist ambitions in Europe began to face serious obstacles, signaling a gradual shift in the global balance of power. In earlier centuries, the Ottomans had rapidly expanded across southeastern Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. Cities, trade routes, and strategic fortresses fell under Ottoman control, strengthening the empire both economically and militarily. But as the empire grew, managing such a vast territory became increasingly difficult. Provincial governors gained more autonomy, and resistance from local populations weakened the pace of expansion. Despite these challenges, the Ottomans continued military campaigns in the Middle East, consolidating their authority over present-day Iraq, Syria, and parts of the Arabian Peninsula. These campaigns were motivated by both strategic and religious goals. Control over key trade routes, holy cities, and resource-rich regions helped the empire maintain its leadership in the Islamic world. In North Africa, the Ottomans established strongholds in Egypt, Tunisia, and Algeria. These areas served not only as military bases but also as centers for regulating Mediterranean trade and maritime activity. The Ottoman Navy played a crucial role in the empire's Mediterranean strategy. For many decades, the fleet dominated the seas and projected power across distant regions. Control of the Mediterranean allowed the empire to influence trade routes, secure coastal territories, and challenge European maritime powers, such as Venice and Spain. However, by the late 17th century, European states had begun to surpass the Ottomans in naval technology and strategy, weakening Ottoman sea power. One of the most significant aspects of Ottoman expansion was the empire's continued interest in Europe. Europe had long been considered a region of great strategic importance and prestige. Earlier sultans had launched successful campaigns into Hungary, the Balkans, and Central Europe. But by the late 1600s, European states had become stronger, more organized, and better prepared to resist Ottoman advances. The most important military event of this era was the 1683 Siege of Vienna. This major campaign aimed to extend Ottoman influence deeper into Central Europe. Vienna, the political, economic, and cultural heart of the Habsburg Empire, was a vital target. Capturing the city could have dramatically altered the balance of power in Europe. However, the siege ended in failure. A European coalition of Polish, Austrian, and German forces mounted a powerful defense and eventually pushed the Ottoman army back. This defeat marked a turning point in Ottoman-European relations. For the first time, it became clear that the Ottomans were no longer unstoppable in Europe. The failure had both immediate and long-term consequences. In the short term, the defeat damaged Ottoman military prestige and emboldened European states to adopt a more assertive stance. Borders stabilized, and the empire shifted from aggressive expansion to defensive strategies. In the long term, the event signaled the beginning of the decline of Ottoman influence in Europe. Although the empire remained powerful in the Middle East and North Africa, its ability to project strength in Central and Western Europe gradually diminished. The defeat at Vienna also exposed major changes in the nature of warfare. European armies were adopting increasingly modern tactics, new formations, and advanced firearms and artillery, technologies that often outmatched traditional Ottoman military structures. Units such as the Janissaries and classical cavalry, once the backbone of the empire, struggled to adapt to these new developments. This era marked the beginning of a period in which the Ottomans would have to modernize or face further setbacks. Despite the failure at Vienna, Ottoman leaders continued regional campaigns. In the Mediterranean, efforts to secure islands and coastal territories persisted. In North Africa, local rulers were either incorporated into the empire or subdued through military operations. The Middle East remained central to Ottoman strategy, as control of this region ensured access to vital trade routes and religious centers. However, these achievements could not offset the losses in Europe.